Hey everyone, Janine here at Lupus Health Shop. Today for our Lupus Life Hacks initiative for Lupus Awareness Month, we have our guest, Lizette from Discover Your Power today. So today we're going to go into a little discussion and we're going to talk about a few things. First, we're going to talk about who we are and how dealing with lupus affects us and how we're able to start advocating and get involved together as a community. So, Lizette, what got you started into becoming a motivational speaker and a transformation coach?
Yeah, I will definitely say that, to be completely honest, getting diagnosed with lupus was one of the hardest things that I've ever been through in my life and had to accept. And it actually led me to my purpose in life, which is coaching others that have lupus, advocating for people, and just spreading awareness so we can raise funds and have enough money for research so we can eventually have a cure and have better treatments for people that are suffering with lupus. So just to sum it up, I was diagnosed with lupus in 2006. So I've had lupus for over 13 years now. And throughout the years, I've learned how we really need people to support us and know about lupus and just educate other people about it. So that way they understand the importance of raising awareness and helping us in the fight against lupus. So that is why I do what I do, so I can help other people through their journey.
And you know what? It was such a great thing is that because you were diagnosed so long ago, there was nothing available on social media, and doctors didn't even know really what lupus was or wouldn't even think to figure it out with you. Yeah. So now we're in a day and age where you have this ability to connect with people all over the world, and it seems like it's really inspired you to go, from what is lupus and how am I going to live the rest of my life to I'm going to live the rest of my life and I'm going to live it well. And doing that, you're helping others, and that's probably one of the best things that anybody can do, looking up to you and really take that into consideration as well.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool that you understand that, and that's what this is all about, because you're absolutely right. Years ago, nobody was talking about lupus. So many people didn't even know what it was. I didn't even know what it was. I had only heard of it once. I don't know if you remember Mercedes on America's Next Top Model. She was my favorite person on that season. And she was competing, and she was the first person that I ever heard open up and talk about lupus. And so to go from that, where nobody really talked about it, there wasn't a lot of research, there was, no support groups, to now, yes, we can go on social media and connect with each other like this. I mean, how awesome is that? And it makes us feel so much better as a lupus community to know that we have other people that we can connect with that understand what we're going through and help us throughout our journey. Or if we want to call each other or ask questions about what we're experiencing, somebody understands. So it's such a blessing to have that now.
It really is. I'm so happy that we were able to connect, and especially with this initiative, because it's more than just raising awareness. I think you and I can do a lot together, and that's really help everyone learn those self-help skills and change the mindset. Our mindset can be our failure, or it could be part of our success. And we have to make that conscious effort and that decision to think, I know today's a tough day. I'm in a ton of pain, or, I can't think straight. Like this past week, I was saying how earlier with our conversation, my brain fog is just so terrible right now. And that's because I'm doing 20 different things for Lupus Awareness Month, and it really takes away all that energy that you have stored up. And so I know that I'm, having a few difficulties with talking or understanding and comprehending as fast, but I know that I'm still going to get up and I'm going to do the best I can. And that at the end of the day makes me feel like I'm still important and I can still do something for the world. And I think everybody can, even if that's just sharing your story in 2 sentences on your Facebook, or sending a blog to a family or a friend like, hey, this is what lupus is, this is how it affects me. And it's not just me, because someone else is saying the same thing. And that can be a game changer, and just speaking up for sure.
Absolutely. You know, I just want to thank you for even saying that, because when it comes to lupus, since it is a cruel and mysterious disease, right? That's what we say as we call it that, because you can't really tell how it affects everybody, because it affects everybody differently. So some people experience pain and some people experience lupus fog. And one day you could be great and the next day you're really going through it. So just you even sharing that with me, it helps me know how I can be there for you and support you. And that's one of the things that I want to just echo what you said. We have to do a good job of sharing how we're feeling and how it affects us, so that way we can support each other, and also so that way other people, our family and friends and our loved ones, know how to support us. They need to know how we're feeling on our bad days so they can support us. And then even when we're having good days, so they know what that looks like, and when we're feeling good, and to just congratulate us or applaud us on that good day. So absolutely. And man, lupus fog is really a thing, isn't it?
It really is. It's so, for the first time in 3 years, I had the most clarity I've ever experienced in my entire life last week. And I have to say that was because I've been doing a lot of self-care. And it's literally life-changing. And it's hard to describe unless you experience it. But when you start to do something for yourself, you feel more whole, you feel complete, and you start to feel like you can conquer anything. And then the next day, lupus might come and be like, just kidding, I'm still here. But that's okay though. Like the next day, you're gonna get back up and you're gonna do it again, and you reap so many benefits that it becomes addicting to feel well.
Yes.
And you'll continually, work out to the best of your ability, or maybe take a break for an hour. Like whatever helps you function better should be a top priority always.
Oh my gosh, yes. Self-care is huge for us, and even the working out. One of the things that I try to encourage the people that I coach with lupus is just take it one day at a time, because lupus does have its ups and downs, and one day we could have the most energy in the world, and if we feel good, then it's like, you know what, then if you can work out that day, whether it's running or lifting weights, or even if it's just walking.
Right. Or taking the stairs instead of the elevator.
Yes.
Little.
Yes, or even if it's just stretching and doing some yoga,
Yeah.
whatever it is, just get your body moving. And those days, I love how you said take a break for an hour. If you need to rest that day, then rest. It's about educating yourself and empowering yourself to really pay attention to your body and know how you feel when you're having a good day or a bad day, or knowing how you feel when you're going through a lupus flare versus when you're not.
Yes. And that's a learning curve, just that in itself.
Yes. It's a journey.
It is, and it always will be. And that's part of this initiative is, to change the perspective of what you think about lupus and how you interpret it, so that you can continue to move forward. And, with your skills, I think that we can really, really help our community get there for sure.
Thanks. Coaching, I love how you said we need to focus on mindset, because that's the first step in making any kind of transformation. And as a transformation coach, before we even start working on goal setting and all of that, we have to work on our mindset. Where are we at mentally? And for people with lupus, just taking it day by day and knowing that you can try to empower yourself, and that may look different for everybody, but it is a journey. And if we do take it one day by day, have a positive outlook, and find those things that can help us on that positive track, whether it's reaching out to other lupus warriors and having that support, or sharing your story, it can make such a difference in how your day-to-day goes.
Totally agree. I'm 100% on that train.
Get it, and it's so cool to connect with you, and I love the work that you're doing too.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It takes a lot of work, but it's so worth it, because if we can help one person take it off of one medication just by, implementing more lifestyle choices and changes, then it's totally worth it. Because once you're like I was saying earlier, once you're able to feel free, it's just such an addicting feeling, and it's exciting.
Yeah, feeling like, for me, it was about, when I was diagnosed, I was told all the things that I couldn't do anymore. Like, that you're not going to be able to go in the sun, you're not going to be able to go to the beach anymore, you can't lift weights, you can't run, you can't work out, you can't have children.
Yeah.
For me to defy the odds, in a sense, where I am doing those things, and I just had to figure out how I could do it best for me, and encouraging other people, just take it day by day, and listen to your body. And there are ways where we can empower ourselves, and even learning about the medication that we take.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different medications that are prescribed to people with lupus, and they treat different symptoms that we have, because we don't necessarily have a one-stop shop or a one-stop pill to cure it.
Right. And it doesn't make sense to even have that, because it's a systemic issue. So I think if we start looking at the way we view lupus from a medical perspective, is where real change is gonna occur. And by change, I mean better treatments. Yes. It all starts with the mindset and the viewpoints, and we have to go back to reevaluating what lupus is and how it affects our body, because our healthcare system is designed to treat emergency-based medicine in acute conditions. And an acute condition means a cold, a virus, an infection, something that heals. But with chronic conditions, it's a completely different thing altogether, because it's affecting all different body organs. So why are we going to see a specialist that focuses on one organ, when in fact that organ will, regulate hormones that affect the organ 5 feet away from it? So when you start changing the way we think about it, I think there's going to be a huge influx of treatments that will actually better help us with less symptoms. Yes. For sure.
I love that you said that, and just knowing that that's the background that you have, and coupled with the fact that you do have lupus, I think it just brings a wealth of knowledge and information and understanding from a different perspective. Because at the end of the day, we have to empower ourselves when it comes to our doctor's visits and being fully prepared for those. Right? I mean, I remember when I first started, and you tell me if it's been the same for you. When I was first diagnosed, it was just like I got hit by a truck of information that I didn't want to hear.
Oh my goodness, yes.
You have an autoimmune disease, and for those of you guys that don't know what autoimmune disease is out there is you have this for life. Basically, there's no necessarily a real cure, but with an autoimmune disease, if we make better choices, if we have a better mindset, we can empower ourselves to make changes to where our lupus can go into remission, and hopefully it won't flare up again. And it starts with us making better choices. So when we go to those doctor visits, the best advice I can say is bring your lab work, bring a notepad, write down questions, write down notes, ask questions if you don't understand something, because from one visit to the next, you have to be prepared. You really do.
And it's sad that we have to be prepared for our own doctor's visit, because we hire our doctors to work for us. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, we have to be the ones that are like sitting there and advocating for ourselves. And I totally get those days where you're too tired to even think, and that's what the whole point is to rely on your doctor, but we're not at that point yet. And so we really have to advocate for ourselves every single place that we go, because there's so many times where doctors have rushed me out of the room, or, I've given them a symptom and they'll sit there and be like, oh, I'm not sure, but everything else looks fine, so you're all set. And I'm like, but I'm not fine.
I know. Yes. Or
I
don't know why that's happening. That may not be lupus related. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
I think it is though.
yeah.
And, you know, something else to piggyback off of that. There are times where, because it's affecting us, it's so emotionally draining. And, you know, we're not perfect. So what if we go into that doctor's visit and we don't have that powerful mindset that day? Another thing that I encourage my clients to do that have lupus is, not only do I encourage you to bring your all of your previous lab results and bring your notepad, but if you are not at 100%, or if you feel like it's overwhelming, bring somebody that can help support you.
Exactly.
For me, yes, that person was my mom. And when I was too exhausted or just down to advocate for myself, she was there to do it with me. And she was also there taking notes and remembering things that I didn't remember that the doctor said. So having that help. Yeah, yeah, yes.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, you'll get nowhere by yourself, unfortunately. And some of that, I think, is because it is invisible. You know, to that point where doctors can't really relate. They can sympathize, and that's great. But until they're sitting there with you 24/7, seeing how it affects you, they're only seeing you for 10 minutes. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, you're in pain. Oh, my other patients are in pain too. They become desensitized, unfortunately. And that's a normal human reaction. So not that I'm pointing their finger, but they need to be more cognizant of how they're reacting and how they're not reacting. And so bringing a family member or a friend, or, you know, even another lupus advocate, like warrior, whoever you became friends with, bring them in on your phone and let them be there with you.
Yes. Speaking of phone, when, you know, to piggyback off of another thing you said, my last doctor's visit, I was trying to explain to my doctor that, you know, with lupus, it changes.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm experiencing new symptoms of rashes, which I never did before. And I developed a new rash that was spreading, and I could tell that it was spreading and getting bigger every single time I went out in the sun.
Oh, man.
So, but it would come and go.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told my lupus doctor about it. And he was like, well, I don't know if that's lupus. And when I went to, of course, just so happened when I went to my doctor's visit, it wasn't flared up anymore.
Of course, yeah.
So I told him, I said, you know what? I'm going to take a picture so you can see it, and I will send it to you the next time that it happens. And he was actually open to the idea of that.
That's awesome.
We have to be creative. If our doctors are not knowing or understanding what we're going through, we have to keep them in the loop just as much.
Absolutely, absolutely. And they're there to help us. We got to work together, and we have to create that team environment. So if you don't find a doctor that wants to work with you, keep it moving. Keep moving until you find the right one. And that's okay if you go through 5 doctors. It's frustrating. And, you know, I get it. Yeah, like me too. I get it. But now I found one where, you know, we've established this relationship that I'm going to come in and we're going to talk. I'm not coming in to review something really quick. We're talking for 20 minutes, so pencil me in.
Good for you. That is a perfect example of empowering yourself.
Yeah. And I really hope that everyone really takes, you know, I guess our takeaway message for today would be,
definitely, I want to encourage everybody. One, I think you said it best. It starts with your mindset. And if you could discover your power to have a powerful mindset and to overcome the challenges that you experience, take it day by day, but every single day, try to do something to discover your power over your lupus, whether it's educating yourself, sharing your story, supporting another fellow lupus warrior, whatever it is, making better choices, walking up the stairs.
Yes.
We have to take it day by day and discover our power over lupus.
I love it. Thank you so much for joining me, and I really, really appreciate your insight and your expertise, and and, you know, opening that mindset as well, and, you know, transforming yourself into being the butterfly of lupus. Totally love it.
I love you.
I love you.
It's a team effort because your positive mindset and attitude rubs off on me and vice versa. And I will say this, the lupus community has so much love. Once you open yourself up to it and you get to know other people with lupus, it is the most loving community. And I love my fellow lupus warriors. So just connecting with you is such a blessing. It really is.
Oh, it really is too. I'm really happy that we were brought together. It's amazing. So everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe to our video. In the link below, there's a link to Lizette on her website, or no, your YouTube, right?
YouTube, yeah, my Discover Your Power YouTube channel.
So it's Discover Your Power today, right?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.